Just Made Media presents One on One, a video podcast featuring exclusive interviews and live performances in our multimedia studio located in downtown Chicago.
All right. Another episode of One on One. Feels great. Not only am I looking forward to this interview and this set from our next guest, but I'm looking around the room. We got a nice studio audience in the house, a lot more participants and microphones and equipment all across the room here. So, let me just send my shout outs real quick before we get into this interview and I make my grand introduction. But, big shout to Gigi as always on the mic.
Hello.
We got my man DJ Uncle L on the mic as well.
Yo, what up?
All right. We got John Temperson on the video decks. Big shout to John. All my Encore crew in the house. Chase Calor. We got Black Buddha. We got Antonio Corey. And, we got my guest right here. His lovely family in the house. Son, wife. And without further ado, let's all make some noise for Mr. Castle.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, one love. Excellent, man. So, we're going to do what we always do. And we're going to really get into the background with Mr. Castle and how he got into music and how he's come so far with the production. And I do know he doesn't only just do production, but he also spits rhymes. He's got bars for real. And that's what's up. We'll get into all that. And, just real quick, another guy that we were out and about around town, and we saw him doing this thing. And, I'm going to blow the spot on Gigi real quick. But it's not that Gigi spits bars, but I'm going to tell you something. We was hearing Mr. Castle's beats before you know it, she was over there. She was spitting Spanglish. You heard? Shit was dope. So
I was.
Yeah.
Si, senor.
That was real. So, and we were having a blast that night. So we were like, yo, let's follow up with this guy. He had good energy. And,
Great energy.
Exactly. And, definitely follows suit and very comfortable with what we do with the one-on-one thing down here at Just Made Media. So, Mr. Castle, just let's start at the beginning and let's just talk about your youth and, where you're from, Chicago area, I guess, and, how you started getting into music.
Well, I grew up in West Chicago. I have a small family, but I have a lot of uncles. I got about 9 uncles and aunts. So I was real close with my uncles. They were like brothers to me because I didn't have I have one sister but no brothers.
Right.
So growing up at parties, we would have music playing like Santana, a lot of new wave, like The Cure, The Smiths, Depeche Mode, and things like that.
Right.
And my youngest uncle, Turtle, shout out to Turtle, he's about 4 years difference of myself. And he never let anybody in his room. That's the crazy thing. And I knew why. Looking back, why he never let me in his room. I mean, he was smoking weed, listening to crazy music that I never really was introduced to before. He gave me a tape to start off. It was Ice Cube, Predator.
Right.
He gave me a Run DMC Down with the King tape. And then I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this?
Right.
And I started playing it. And then he introduced me to like Cypress Hill, Funk Dubious, the Beat Nuts.
Yeah.
A lot of Latino, hip hop groups that, shout out to Soul Assassins, man. DJ Muggs, that's like a big inspiration for me. But yeah, my uncle, he introduced me to hip hop.
Word.
And fast forward, I was listening to things in junior high and high school that other cats weren't listening to. They would be like, yo, who's Capone and Noriega or who's Mobb Deep? Or, because a lot of my friends weren't listening to that stuff. They were listening to like Kid Frost and, a lot of Mexican hip hop.
La Raza.
Yeah. But that was the jam, though. La Raza was the jam.
Word.
I had it too. But, I dug a little further than that, as far as what I liked, my personal sound. And then I started to, as a kid, I grew up, when The Source was a big deal.
Right, of course.
The Source magazine. So if they gave a joint, if it was like 3.5 or higher, I was like, all right, I'm going to check out for it, And a lot of stuff that, I listened to, that, was there, And then I used to like go to the back of the magazine when they would sell like the turntables It would be like you could
That's
get
right.
Geminis and like a mixer for like $2,000. I'm like, I'm never gonna have that money, but I wanna, I wanna see what it's all about. And through that in high school, I met one of my good friends, my brother Jellify. He still makes beats now. He's still
Okay.
making music. He's working with a lot of artists in Chicago. I met him in art class in high school, and we connected.
Right.
This is back in 1998,
Okay.
and back then I wasn't even thinking about making beats. I was trying to rap.
Yeah.
So in class, there was these other cats that were in there. They were like, "Yeah, we rap, we make music," and I was like, "Well," I lied. I was like, "Shit, me too."
Yeah.
So then after class, Jelly, he's like, "Hey, do you really rap?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay, cool. After school tomorrow, come over to my house with some lyrics, and we're gonna record some." I said, "Damn." So I remember leaving. I wrote like 2 notebook papers full of lyrics, no bars, no cadence, no nothing. It was like just. And he comes, and I went over, and he's like, "Oh, you really don't rap. You was lying." I was like, "Yeah, I was lying." So, I mean, from that, I was like, all right, cool. Maybe this is something I want to pursue. And I did. He had the equipment. He used to, he had some beat up Gemini 500 XLs that he had to put like a nickel on the needle so it wouldn't skip.
Yeah. That's right. We all started out with that shit.
You know what I
real.
mean? And then he would put like wax paper under the slip mat so he could really like go back and forth. And then I remember for Christmas, his parents had got him like a Gemini mixer that you could sample on.
Yeah. No doubt.
So we were making our early tapes, and I remember my first freestyle was on Nas' instrumental Blazer 50.
Okay.
I mean, it was like a B-side, and but yeah, I mean, that was pretty much like my journey through it, and after, I started to, hone my craft as an MC, and, once Jellify went to college, I was left with no beats. He would mail me beats in the mail, but it would be like beats for like a minute 50.
Yo, and just last thing before I ask you some more questions, but for all y'all out there, that's how we all got started. That story he just described of like turning to a magazine and you went to the back page of the magazine or order forms for your starter turntable, some cheap ass whack turntables, man, that like you try to scratch it and the belt might jump off, or like he said, put the coin on the head shell. Like, oh man, he was taking me back for real. But yo, that's what's up. I think we've got to be from like basically the same era. You know what I mean? So
Definitely.
word. Yeah, trip down memory lane. I love that. Yeah. So you was kind of just getting into it where, at this point, it looks like you're about to really start taking up the beats, right?
Yeah, I had bought an MPC, and for those, it's a drum machine sampler that Akai makes, 2000, and I had bought one off of eBay, and I was like, you know what, let me try to just do this on my own, because relying on a producer to make beats for you and wait for the beats, you be waiting forever sometimes.
Sure.
So for me, I was like, well, let me just do it myself. I'll be a one-stop shop. I got an Audio Technica mic, studio mic. I got a 16-track recorder. I got a CD burner. I got a beat machine. Let me just do it all myself. And that's what I did.
Right.
Started, digging for records. And, shout out to my brother Dose. His dad had these Spanish records in his basement. It was like a pile of them from the 70s, yo. And I was like, hey, let me borrow these real quick. Man, those of you out there that like really dig for records, once you get into the Spanish joints, those are gonna have the illest chops, the illest breaks, the illest loops, and I found like a gold mine.
Right.
So I was like, I'm gonna just start making my next project.
Nice.
Is there like a genre of Spanish music records?
Yeah, this is like Mexican.
Okay.
Being Mexican, these
Sure.
are like they're Mexican records that people forget about. Like there's like King Clave, there's Los Angeles Negros, there's I can keep going.
Word.
But I don't want to give too much because then people start going,
Oh yeah, that's the treasure trove right there.
I still keep the integrity of, making music and stuff like that. You got to kind of go out there and journey, get on your knees under the dollar bins and the dusty record shops
That's right.
the records that nobody wants. I'm not trying to pay $15 for a record, I'm the dollar bin bandit.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? I go in those dollar bins. I make joints.
Word.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, I knew a lot of people from throughout the years that was strictly on the dollar bin thing. And a lot of times, the same records you find in the dollar bin are the same ones up top that they're charging more for. It's just that the dollar bin one might have a little scratch in it or a little skip. And then, so if you're still spinning vinyl live, you better be careful to bring those out live because they might have skips. Know what I mean? But at the end of the day, the same good shit is down there, you know? So what he's saying, like, you know, taking your time. And I'll tell you this much. Most people I know who got that experience digging for vinyl, it actually helps their approach digging digitally because they got the same patience. They got the, you know what I mean? And they know how to connect the dots between, well, if it was this label or if it was recorded at this recording studio or maybe this producer jumped on it or maybe it was this bass player or it might have been this keys player or, oh, I saw so-and-so did background vocals. You know, obviously the list goes on, but, you know what I mean? Like, yo, I feel
Reading the credits.
You got to read the credits. You got to read the credits. And
Look at the year.
Word. No doubt. So, yeah. So then, now at one point would you say that, like, you were active with your recordings and the recordings were starting to circulate? You know, you were finishing projects. You know what I'm saying? Like, what was that process like?
You know, I think, you know, when I started recording the music, you know, it was probably, I'd say, 07, 08. Had a couple projects, you know, with a couple groups that I had that were just local cats that were, you know, from West Chicago that I grew up with. And, you know, we was making noise. We were performing like 4 times a week.
Nice.
We was coming out here. There used to be this place on Western called Vertigo back in the day. And for some cats that grew up in the burbs,
yeah,
to come out here and rock the show, it was hard for people to perform after us because we valued, you know, performance. You know, a lot of times now you'll see people perform and they're just up there going through the motions.
Sure.
And I'm big on crowd interaction, keeping people engaged. If there's a gap between myself and the crowd, before I even start, get close to the stage, so you can feel me.
Word.
You know, and you know that we was doing a lot of shows and things like that. In those days, you know, there was no streaming. It was all hand to hand, burning CDs, flyers, stickers, you name it. It was more of a hustle. Like
right.
Now, you could do everything in the comfort of your own home.
Yeah, sure.
It's easier, you know. So I came up in that time, and things started to progress crazy. But you know, life happens sometimes, and took a detour and kind of stopped for a little bit.
No doubt. Yeah. I mean, coming live. I mean, that's the real foundation. For as much as we might record or you know, we practice our craft, you know, in the studio or behind closed doors, as you said. I mean, the principle of the hip hop culture is to come live. You know what I mean? So, and and that's how you were able to actually solidify to the hip hop community that you really do this. Like when they finally saw you in person, and you was really up there rocking it. You know, no matter what it was you did, whether you MC'd or DJ'd or, you know what I mean, whatever. But then people were like, okay, I seen that. Like, you know what I mean? So I definitely can respect that, you know, for all the road warriors out there, everybody, you know, dealing with these venues, which can be very difficult, actually solidifying the shows for everybody so everyone could really be there in person and rock. You know, we seen Uncle L the other night at the Dilla tribute. We had a blast. And, you know, I got to say, it's interesting seeing these shows where there's like a little bit of our generations in there, but also the younger generations in there too. Sometimes you can see the two crowds kind of butt heads. You know, we saw some interesting things the other night, but you know what? That's what it's supposed to be, because hip hop, that's where we settle our difference. You know what I mean? We do it live, words. So, yeah, man. So now, were there like groups that you were in, or like, you know, what crews were you representing? And yeah, maybe you could also talk about a little bit more of some of the venues that you was all rocking at that time.
Yeah, I was in a couple groups. Earlier I mentioned my brother Jellify. We were in a group called Turner Junction. We're actually recording new material for that now. Then the bigger group was Gray Area, right? So that consisted of basically 2 different groups coming together, and we had the difference is we had a DJ now.
Nice.
So it was a 5-man group plus a DJ, and that album is called Stereotype. It's everywhere still. and we put that out in '08.
Okay.
And that was the first album where I showcased my production.
Word.
So I produced like half the album. Jellified did the other half.
Nice.
So not only was I on stage like thinking I was the illest at rhyming, but I was dope on the beats too. You know, and you got to think this is about 50, more than 10 years ago. So I was a younger dude, and my personality was different back then. I was more out there in your face. I wanted to battle everybody because I knew I was nice.
Right.
Because I was like, okay, you say you rap, but can you freestyle?
Right.
And that was like my biggest thing is going out to like just, yo, you freestyle? Oh, no. Like, okay, then don't say you an MC then. Because you can't get in front of a crowd and say, I got the illest bars and this and that. Okay, let's go. Throw an instrumental on, let's go. And a lot of times it wasn't it. We did, like I mentioned, Vertigo. We did Abbey Pub, the Metro.
R.I.P. Abbey Pub.
Man, that place was dope. I saw MF Doom there one time. It was crazy.
Me too. I was at that show.
Yo, no, this is before he had the fake one.
He was really there. He was really there.
No, but the better show was the one that he had at the Metro when Mad Villain first came out.
Word.
Anybody who was there, were you there?
I was at the one when Operation Doomsday dropped.
That's before Mad Villain. So
yeah,
word.
But he came out at like 3 a.m. Everybody waited. There was a crowd, but everybody left. Rest in peace to Doom. Doom was. I love Doom. I can. Yeah. But
yeah. And I got a few of my Doom stories too. But I think anybody that year that Mad Villain dropped. I saw the tour when it was in New York. There was a BB King's. I think there was a BB King's here in Chicago as well, obviously. But we had a BB King's right in the heart of Midtown in New York, and they brought the Mad Villain tour there. Oh, that was a great show. Just so many people were in the house. Like I just ran into people I hadn't seen in a long time. Everybody was bugging. Everyone taking pictures and shit. And then Madlib jumped on the drum set and did a drum solo for like 20 minutes. Word.
That was dope. I mean, with the Mad Villain show, he was by himself, so Doom was his own DJ.
Okay.
And he was up there like, I was mad drunk. I was young, dude. And it was the best shit. But then I think the year after when J-Lib came out, rest in peace to Dilla.
Right.
They had a show at the Logan Square Auditorium. It was Madlib, J Dilla, Peanut Butter Wolf, and J Rock from the Beat Junkies.
Right.
That changed all these. This is the thing. Like those artists and those humans changed my life, especially Dilla. I remember because at the height of Madlib, he was like, this up. He was those that knew, that he was dope. And I remember after the show, everybody was going to Madlib trying to buy him a drink. And I promise you, I seen Jay Dilla on stage by himself. Like kind of, he was happy, and I was like, did none of y'all know? Who did
What it says, yeah.
Welcome to Detroit, Slum Village, Tribe, Farside, and
De La.
Can't forget De La.
Yeah, rest in peace, Dave.
Rest in peace, man. And I went up to him, the coolest dude ever.
Word.
And meeting Dilla, I was like, that's a story that I hold dear to my my heart, because close to my heart, because Dilla was a big inspiration. On the production side is why I make beats. I don't make beats like that style, but just seeing what he did and how he manipulated sound, that's hard for people to do now.
Yeah. I was having a little discussion about the Dilla Time book, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little like conflicted on the book, but at the end of the day, I'm more proud of it and positive that his legacy lives on, and there's gonna be a document to show it. A homie brought through the book to the studio like a month ago. And he reads me the first couple pages of the forward, and to me, the author was on some wild shit. I don't know if that's gonna get me blacklisted or whatever, you know what I mean? But he kind of like admitted in the forward, like, I'm not sure if Dilla himself would have approved of this, So to me, that's a little like, but you're selling it, you know what I'm saying? So, but regardless to any of that, I do want to say that what I remember from Dilla, not only Dilla, but the people that influenced Dilla, the Native Tongues and all them, was that you could tell they did it from their heart, and they did it. There's a groove and a rhythm, and you could, for producers, you could feel their workflow. And I think it's just that it's like funky. It's like it's got a groove to it. And I just noticed everyone that made beats in that camp they left like their groove or their stamp, their fingerprint on it. Like, so Dilla had this like bounce. You know, you always knew a Dilla beat when you heard it because it had the bounce. You know, and I know they you know, this is the last thing I'll say on this before we get back to, you know, what you were saying, Castle. But my father was a jazz musician, and I saw what they did to jazz, where they dissect it like surgery, and they get so crazy with the books that now regular people can't even get with jazz. You know, and they take it to the Ivy League. You know what I mean? It's not for the people no more. And I don't want them to see them do that with Dilla. You know what I mean? Because this hip hop shit is for regular, everyday people. You know what I'm saying? It's
That's
not.
right.
It's not about all that. You know what I mean? That's my opinion, anyway. But but everything you're saying, we was right there. You know, in that same vibe and loving it. Yeah, you know, and Billy the Kid just walked in too. You know, he got that bounce in his beats too. You know, Mr. Castle, I heard the bounce on your beats. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you know a producer, because it sounds like them. You know what I mean? So, word. So, yeah, maybe you could tell us a little bit about the records you're working on now. I know I was jumping through your Spotify a little bit before the show this week, and it sounded like 2022, 2021 was a very busy year for you.
Yeah, 2022, just a few months, last year, that was a big year for me. I challenged myself going into 2022. The biggest thing is like consistency, right? And being out there, and there's no such thing as like being overly out there, because who else is going to expose your music but yourself? So I was like, all right, every month I got to put something out, because music nowadays is so easy to put out. You know, from January of 2022 to December of 2022, I put out 12 projects.
Damn.
So every month I was like pushing, and I was being challenged at times. Like, hey, you got a week left.
Right.
What are you doing? And I'd be like, I'll put it out. It'll be done. And I was just trying to beat procrastination sometimes. As an artist, sometimes it's hard because you got life, you have kids, you got family, you got just sometimes some shit happens, and you still gotta come back around to put music out. And I had gotten sick in November, and it kind of put a a damper on my releases.
Right.
So December comes, I post some. I was like, I got y'all. I got 2 of them coming out in December for y'all. So what I did is I put out the November project in December, and then I also put in I made like a Christmas themed ass beat.
Word.
But it's not like too Christmassy. It was pretty dope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I gave him a double whammy in December. You know what I mean? So I did that, and leaving last year, coming into this year, I'm more gonna be more like artist focused, working with other artists. Previous to last year, I was working with a lot of other artists too. AM Early Morning is a big Chicago artist.
Word.
I met him through mutual friends, and that dude's constantly putting music out. Shout out to Early. And he had linked up with he was out in New York one time. He got stuck out there, I think in like 2019. And he linked up with Flea Lord.
Oh, that's what's up.
And Flea Lord linked to Griselda, to Prodigy and Mobb Deep. I was like, he would be hitting me up at like 3 a.m. Yo, send me some beats. I run to the basement, send them beats. So he put out a project with Flea Lord that I produced 6 of the 7 joints. So that kind of put me out there to another audience on the East Coast.
Nice.
And started working with cats like El Camino and some people out there.
Yeah.
So it was kind of it was a good experience for me. Coming from here and just working with other people who really felt my music.
Yeah, no doubt. This the New York Chicago connection I think has been revitalized because you probably was in the house. We went to that. Me and G went to the Flea Lord show. I was at Sub-Team in 2021.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, exactly. I figured as much then. Yeah, we was there, and then we was at something else. Like when you go across the border from Chicago over by the Midway Airport, there's like a little
Magoo's.
It looks like
I was there too.
he was at that. Yeah, and because the dude was throwing shirts from the crowd. AM Early Mornings. I got the shirt. You know what I mean? That was that shirt. Remember that?
Wait,
I probably got it on right now.
Yeah.
I got it on right now.
Yeah.
Shout
That's
out
what's
to
What a
up.
Curly.
small world.
What a small world, you know. See that hip hop keeps bringing the family together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hip hop don't stop, like they say, right?
Word. But yeah, and I'm just noticing little. Some of my peoples back from New York have been playing here in Chicago a lot lately. The Arm and Hammer guys and they're I just keep seeing people and certain people's hit me up back home like yo Zest, I know you in Chicago now. Do you know this person? I'm like, oh, I don't know him yet, but I'm trying to know him, you know. And so there's a nice little connection going on between the two cities right now.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So, and shout out to my peoples back home, REC. We got a live production event happen back in New York at the end of the month, every last Wednesday. And I'm definitely, now that I'm starting to get tapped in with people like Mr. Castle and everybody doing the production in Chicago, I want to get that back and forth with the producers. A lot of great Chicago producers. The New York heads would love to hear y'all out there. You know what I mean? And vice versa, be good to bring the New York heads out here to Chicago. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
Word. So, okay, yeah. Without further ado, we're gonna start wrapping up the interview. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about the equipment you brought with you today and what you're gonna be rocking with the live production set.
So I'm stuck to the MPC.
Word.
I started making my beats on an MPC before it was used as kind of like a controller with a laptop. So I kind of had to learn how to transition with technology and not be such an old head.
True.
Because I could be just stuck in my ways, but exporting beats from like an MPC is just a headache. But when with this, so I use the MPC Studio Black. It's got the pads on there because I need to constantly I need to hit something when I'm making beats. I don't I give props to cats who make beats that they're just making beats like that. Me personally, I can't do that.
No doubt.
And then that's it. I just brought that in my laptop. That's really all I need to freak. But my setup is I got a turntable, I got a mixer and stuff like that for the records. So when I get in my zone, pretty much make beats like after hours.
Right.
Once my son's asleep.
Yeah.
I'm ready to, there's no soccer on TV. I'm ready to make music.
Word,
I'm a soccer
word.
hooligan.
Yo, one time I played soccer for a little while. Yeah, we got some more soccer fans in the house. We got any more comments from the crowd?
Quick question. What's behind like your logo, like
My logo?
on the button on the pin there?
Yeah, so this is Hebrew.
That's
My-
what I figured. Yeah.
My name is David.
Yeah.
So this is my name in Hebrew.
Word.
So I didn't think about it. I wasn't trying to take the Prince route and then have like the symbol.
Yeah.
But I was like, like Mr. Castle's cool, but because I went through like a few different names. I mean, this is like, I used to be Sen Castle.
Okay.
So a lot of the cats that know me from back in the day, they still call me Sen.
Right.
But I'm like, I'm not really like I'm trying to turn my life around in a way.
Okay. Yeah. I feel you.
I had to be,
Stop
I
saying
got to drop my son off to school and they can't be looking at me like, oh, your dad, we found him, so yeah, this is it. This is, I like to, I pride myself on my, my branding and, it's like, that's me.
True.
So anytime you see this, it's about to be hot.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. That was a great question.
Yeah, thank you.
And shout out to my man back home who does a lot of studies. He put me on to certain historical factors and science and everything. He was talking about the lost tribe of Ephraim. So for all y'all know, then y'all know what it is. You heard? So and I'm sorry. Any more comments out here in the crowd? We don't usually do a Q&A, but it's looking pretty good. You know what I'm saying?
I'm an open book, man.
All right. So listen. That was an excellent interview. Had a lot of fun bringing you out, Mr. Castle, and we're looking forward to the production
you.
set.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for having me.
Word, if my man 10%, if you could bring in a commercial break, we're going to come right back and set up for this production set, all right?
That's right.
All right.
Higher synthesis. Higher synthesis. Higher synthesis.
Now we changed the pitch to make it something totally different, to where it's not the same song and gives it a whole different feel. Like if you change the pitch up, it'll give a more like lively feeling. If you change it down, depending on how the sound, it'll sound more like grimy hip hop a little bit.
Hasta la muerte, hasta
Now
la
I'm ready to
muerte,
lay the drum.
I built a castle out of pile of bricks. I built a castle out of pile of bricks.
hasta la muerte, muerte.
All my old brother, I'm so glad to share. All my old brother, I'm so glad to share. All my old brother, I'm so glad to share. I've got a brand new crush today. All my old brother,
Hasta la
It's
muerte.
gonna burn all this shit.
Muerte.
All this shit. And a nigga can't even find a job.
Well, that's Uncle Sam for you, baby. Money to burn.
Hasta la muerte. Hasta la muerte. Hasta la muerte.
Oh shit. I just feel like Kid Capri. Yo, you ever see DJ Kid Capri when he rocking? He always got the mic.
Hasta la muerte. Muerte. Hasta la muerte.
Yeah, I know y'all like motherfucking. I was feeling a type of way. I can't sing, so I let that shit bleed through the speaker, you know?
I'm flying this coop.
Found tears on your pillow, take my long away. What I do? Grabbed you and hugged you and said, real men have to cry sometime too. Oh, didn't I, yeah. Real men have to cry sometime too. Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I believe in God? Yeah, I guess I do. How else can you have the sun, the moon, and the stars and shit like that?
Sun, moon, stars, quasars, motherfuckers sound like airwood jets. There ain't no God. Okay, if there was a God, why be letting motherfuckers get smoked every night? Babies and little kids, you tell me that.
Well, you tell me this, nigga. How you know God's a he? He could be a she. You don't know that.
For one thing, you don't know what the fuck I be motherfucking knowing.
Mr. Castle.
Hasta la muerte, muerte, hasta la muerte,
I miss my young eyes, man. They be like, you never wear your glasses. I'll be like, shit, I don't need them when I make beats. Not even the drive and shit.
Castle out of pile of bricks. I built the castle out of pile of bricks.
hasta la muerte.
This was for y'all. Someone dragging out recording this joint too. I ain't gonna call no names, but he out there.
Hasta la muerte, 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 muerte. Don't blame the wine either. If y'all got drinks in this motherfucker, cheers. Out there that be trying to bring up the past all the time, like, yo, chill, we not there no more. How we doing on time? I got one more and then yeah. I get in the zone. I be forgetting. And for the last one of the night. Thank y'all. I love y'all.
Yo, make some noise one more time for Mr. Castle. Yeah, that's what's up, yo, bro. We love the set. Everybody in here was bobbing their heads stupid heavy. And
encore.
Yeah, well, they was calling for an encore.
Pun intended.
Okay, una más. Let's get one more.
See, she gets me.
You know this guy got beats. He got one more. Hold on. Just give the man a moment.
Feel sexy all the time, man. I don't know. Hip hop sex symbol. I'm on the month of May calendar for hip hop, underground hip hop beat heads. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Geminis.
No doubt we in here.
I promise we gonna get something to eat as soon as we leave, baby.
Yeah.
Shout out to the youngest in charge.
Youngest in charge, Big Paulito over there. We see you, bro. Yeah. Let me just over this beat. I'll talk real quick. I just everyone looking to get out Mr. Castle. You know we all work for Instagram for free. You heard, so you can find them. You know what I mean? And yeah, man. This was a pleasure, bro. Yeah, once again. Yeah. Yo, studio audience, one more time, Mr. Castle.
Thank you.
Yeah, we love it.
Thank y'all so much. I love y'all. Mr. spelled M-I-S-T-E-R Castle.
Yeah,
love
y'all. I bring it up about getting at him because he did say after doing the marathon of 12 projects in 1 year, now he's looking for y'all artists to reach out to him to say, yo, let's work. Let's put in this work. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, no, he's about to transition. Everyone's, okay. All right. Yo, John, please. Thanks a lot. John Temperson. Let's bring us to the the outro. The outro joint. Yo, peace everyone in the house again. Whole JMM crew. Mr. Castle's family. S-Rock just walked in. Peace and love to him. Brady Kid just walked in. Josh Pauly, Antonio Corey,
Uncle L,
DJ Uncle L,
Billy,
GGJJM,
Buddha,
Black Buddha, Chase Kalor,
Chase Galore.
DJ Zesto Q, and we out one time. All right, peace.